Finding You. Chapter 3 The Fear. Scene 1 The morning after. Desi woke up in Star's bed. Sunlight streamed through the curtains. She could hear birds outside. She could smell coffee from somewhere in the apartment. And she could feel Star's arm wrapped around her waist. Desi smiled. She couldn't remember the last time she'd woken up feeling this happy. Star stirred beside her. Morning, beautiful. Morning. Desi turned to face her. You made coffee? Of course. Star kissed her forehead. I'm the perfect host. Desi laughed. Modest too. Always. They lay there for a moment, tangled in each other, tangled in the sheets, tangled in the feeling of being together. Then Star's phone buzzed. Sandra. Morning. Can I come over? I miss you both. Star showed Desi the message. Desi's heart swelled. Tell her yes. Star typed back. Star. Come over. Coffee's ready. Sandra. On my way. Sandra arrived 20 minutes later. She was wearing a simple sundress. Her long braids were pulled back. She looked beautiful. Morning, Sandra said, walking into the kitchen. I brought croissants. You're perfect. Star took the bag. I love you. Sandra blushed. I love you too. She turned to Desi. And I love you. Desi smiled. I love you too. Sandra walked over and kissed her. Soft. Sweet. Full of promise. How did you sleep? Sandra asked. Better than I have in years, Desi admitted. Good. Sandra kissed her forehead. That's exactly how it should be. They sat down for breakfast. Coffee. Croissants. Fruit. 3 women. 1 table. 1 growing connection. The next few weeks were a blur of discovery. Dates with Star. Dates with Sandra. Dates with both of them together. They went to movies. They went to restaurants. They went to the park and lay on the grass, staring up at the clouds. Desi learned things about herself she'd never known. She learned what it felt like to be cherished by 2 people. She learned what it felt like to let go of fear. But she was still holding something back. A piece of herself she was too afraid to share. Star noticed. Sandra noticed too. They could see it in Desi's eyes. The way she sometimes pulled back. The way she sometimes went quiet. The way she sometimes looked at them like she was waiting for them to leave. One night, they were lying in Star's bed. Star was in the middle. Desi on one side. Sandra on the other. They were tangled together. Skin against skin. Hearts beating as one. Star could feel the tension in Desi's body. Talk to me, Star whispered. Desi was silent. What's wrong? Sandra asked, propping herself up on her elbow. Nothing, Desi said. I'm fine. Liar. Star smiled softly. I know you too well. Desi looked at her. Then at Sandra. She was so tired of hiding. What are you afraid of? Star asked gently. Desi's eyes filled with tears. I'm afraid that if you really know me, you won't love me anymore. Star pulled Desi closer. Why would you think that? Because. Desi swallowed. Because I don't even know who I am. I've been confused for so long. About everything. About what I want. About who I want to be. She took a shaky breath. I've been with men. I've been with women. I've never been able to figure out what I really want. And I'm scared that you're both going to realize that I'm not worth the trouble. Sandra reached over and took her hand. Desi, Sandra said softly. We already know all of that. Desi blinked. What? We've always known, Star said. We've seen you struggle. We've seen you search. We've never judged you for it. But. Desi shook her head. But I haven't figured it out yet. Who says you have to? Star asked. Who says you need to have all the answers? Desi was silent. Society loves labels, Sandra said. It loves putting people in boxes. But you don't have to fit in any box. You can just be you. I don't know who that is, Desi whispered. Then we'll help you find her. Star kissed her forehead. Together. All 3 of us. They stayed up late that night. Talking. Touching. Exploring. Desi learned things about Star she'd never known. Her fears. Her dreams. The parts of herself she kept hidden. She learned things about Sandra too. The way she'd always felt invisible. The way she'd always wanted to be seen. And she shared parts of herself she'd never shared with anyone. The confusion, the fear, the desperate need to be loved. "I've never had anything like this," Desi admitted. "I've never felt so safe." "That's because you are safe," Sandra said. "With us, you're always safe." Star nodded. "We're not going anywhere, Desi. No matter what." Desi's heart swelled. For the first time in her life, she felt like she was exactly where she was supposed to be. Desi woke up to the sound of birds. She was alone in Star's bed, but she could hear voices from the kitchen. Star and Sandra were making breakfast. Desi smiled. She felt different, lighter, free. She got up, walked to the kitchen doorway. Star and Sandra were dancing to music playing softly from a speaker. Sandra was flipping pancakes. Star was pouring coffee. They saw Desi and smiled. "Morning, beautiful," Star said. "Morning," Desi said. "What's all this?" "We wanted to celebrate," Sandra said. "Last night was special." Desi's eyes filled with tears. It really was. She walked over, wrapped her arms around both of them. "I love you both," she whispered. "We love you too," they said together. Later that day they sat in the garden. The same garden where it had all started. The fire pit. The circle of friends. "Remember our first night?" Star asked. Desi smiled. "How could I forget?" "I remember watching you," Star admitted. "Watching you laugh. Watching you talk. Watching you be so beautifully yourself." "And I remember watching both of you," Sandra said. "Wishing I had the courage to say something." "But you did say something," Desi reminded her. "And I'm so glad you did." Sandra smiled. "Me too." Desi looked at them. Two women. Two hearts. Two futures intertwined with hers. She still didn't have all the answers. She still didn't know exactly who she was. But she was learning. With them. Because of them. Every single day. And that was enough. "Where do we go from here?" Desi asked. Star and Sandra looked at each other. "Wherever we want," Star said. "We take it one day at a time," Sandra added. "We keep learning. We keep growing. We keep loving." Desi nodded. "That sounds perfect." They sat in comfortable silence. Three women. One connection. A journey of discovery. And Desi knew deep in her heart that no matter what happened next, she would never be alone again.